people? What's up? What's good? We are back for another edition of our Millennial Masterclass series. Blessed to be your host, Caleb Smith, back for another week. More interviews, more content. So we're about to get started, y'all. We are about to get started. Let me just pin this comment real quick. Hey, how you feeling?
What's up, young player?
Nothing much, man. How you been?
Man, I've been beautiful, man. No real complaints.
Good, good,
You
good.
know, drinking water and minding my business.
I hear you, man. I'm trying to do the same thing. I hear
How
you.
you been? Everything good?
Yes, sir. No complaints. No complaints at all.
No, that's right. I know that's
You ready
right.
for this great conversation, man?
Hey, man, I'm always up to talk a little bit.
Let's get it. Let's get
Yes,
it.
sir.
Hey, on your page, man, your most recent post, which I love, you're talking about self-esteem. Can you break down for all the young entrepreneurs who'll be tuning in the importance of having self-esteem? One thing that you said, I remember when we met for the first time, like nobody has to convince you of how dope you are. So, like,
Yeah.
can you break that down about having like self-worth, confidence, all that good stuff?
Make sure I get this right, because I want to have my hands free for this conversation.
Oh,
Because we're doing a lot of
you
this.
good. You
A lot of this.
good.
Look, watch for the hook. The thing about self-esteem, right, is that I don't care who you are, and I've talked to some of the biggest people that you can think of. I feel like I sound like it took some big people, there's best people, but no, like I remember being on tour with Les Brown, and we were sitting in the green room, and I says to him, I said, Mr. Brown, he says, if you don't start calling me Les, I said, Les, he said, yes. I said, can I ask you a question? He said, you just did, and he laughed, and I said, when does it stop? And he was like, what? When does what stop? I'm like, the nerves. And he literally fell out on the floor and laughed at me. And he was like, the nerves never stop. He was like, it's just how you look at them. So you got to be excited about what it is, because your brain can't process anything differently when it comes to being nervous, anxious, or excited. It doesn't know the difference. It's the same amount of chemicals. It's how you choose to receive that.
Wow.
I'm excited I got this monumental tuition bill for my kid. I'm so excited that I'm going to find a way to pay it. You know what I'm saying? It's that type of
Yeah.
thing. And so what happens is, especially your generation, because you're not much older than my oldest child, your generation is so caught up in likes and shares and clout chasing. And it's not me shitting on you, because my generation did it to you.
Nah, hey,
My,
you speaking facts. I'm
but
listening.
likes and shares and clout chasing and showing everybody everything that you have and all of these wonderful things, and you ain't done shit.
Mm.
The other part of it is, instead of working so hard for your first name, you need to start to work hard to make your last name mean something. And what winds up happening is you get so caught up in these ridiculously high expectations that don't make any sense and don't necessarily apply to you. If you look at these fashion blogs, if you look at TMZ, if you just scroll up and down Instagram, it's always the same shit over and over and over again about, such and such just, they look so great. And it's just like, yeah, because Dr. Milanaka or Dr. Miami, did a little suck and tuck.
Yep.
But then but because that woman has a particular complexion about like my wall, and the sister reading or watching that has a complexion about like my face, she thinks that there's something wrong with her, but they're taking things from her, adapting it, and then using their complexion for protection, and all of a sudden you feel inadequate when you got the same exact thing in you. And so my whole thing is, you got to start divorcing people. You got to divorce yourself from people who do not understand what your mission is. You have to divorce yourself from the people who went to high school with you, who knew you when. You got to divorce yourself from people at your job who is like, oh, that's a pipe dream. You need to try and get on the fast track and fight your hardest to get the 3% cost of living increase. You've got to take control of yourself. Here's the thing, Caleb, you and I have been in the same room, and you and I have had talks, and I could tell you every single thing that I know, right? I could take you out to dinner. I could go in the back. I could cook you up a steak. I could serve you the steak. I could even cut it up for you and feed it to you. I could even make you swallow, if that's what I would have to do. But the problem is, sooner or later, that steak's going to digest. And then it's up to your ass to shit or get off the pot.
Mm.
That's the part I can't do for you. So that to me is an internal job.
Yeah.
So getting rid of your shit is on you. No matter what somebody puts in you, getting rid of the shit is on you. And I think that that's the problem. We do so many things by committee. We do so many things like, is this going to work? Is this where I need to be? Like, no, that's not what we do. And I think that that's a huge problem for folks, because they don't seem to understand what's necessary to get to where they say that they want to be. And where they want to be is, their own personal goals. It's not necessarily a situation where, society is going to determine that, and you got to also be real with your situation. You're more likely to get struck by lightning twice in the win a Super Bowl. So you got to look at what your goals are. And I'm not saying it's impossible. Like I was telling a client yesterday, like when it comes to basketball, now I may look like I can't do nothing, but bro, you put me on that perimeter, I'm draining threes, bro. I get busy in the perimeter. In the paint, I'm hot trash truck juice. But you feed me the rock, and I'm draining threes, bro, all day. I'm draining threes like Chance the Rapper hats. Just
I love it.
Funny though, in 05, I hung out with LeBron All-Star Weekend.
Wow.
And the thing of it is, the whole time we hung out, he never once said, you know what, man, I'm going to call David Stern. We're going to get you in the NBA because your three is nice. That's not the track I'm on. Meaning that there's a certain amount of work to get to where you need to be. And both success and failure leave clues. So if you want to make sure that you get to where you need to be, first of all, you got to remember, it's your life. It is your responsibility. They are your bills. And you have to feed the things that are going to get you to where you need to go and start about the things that don't. Somebody's opinion, like some of y'all will be so upset. Like the one thing I love to do for fun is people will be upset because I said something on Facebook. And like, well, how you got time to talk to me? Well, because I got a staff. And they can run the company while I sit up here and prove to you how stupid you are. But the thing of it is, when I'm done, I'm going to go put on some sweatpants and make myself a sandwich. When you're done, you're going to get up out of your bathroom where you snuck off to for 20 minutes and get in your cubicle. And that's not big me, little you, but you don't have the right as a worker to talk to me about entrepreneurship. But you're so caught up in trying to get one over on the champ instead of trying to get one over on yourself when your job is getting several over on you. You dig? So self-esteem, man, it's a disease, but it's still an inside job, and you got to treat that, man.
I love that.
You know?
Hey, that's real, Dave. And Dave, something else as well, when it comes to business advice and things like that, every time I've reached out for guidance and stuff, and I told you, you've been right 10 out of 10 times. Where does that wit come from knowing, hey, you should probably do this, you should probably do that, or you probably shouldn't do this, and you probably shouldn't do that? Where did that knowledge come from for you?
Do you want the answer?
Let's get the answer. Let's do it.
I don't think you want it, bro.
Let's hear it.
Because this is the part. I failed a lot.
Yeah.
Publicly.
Yeah.
Over and over and over and over. Wait for it. And over and over. Like, I failed so many times at so many things. A lot of times I failed because I was too early. A lot of times I failed because I was too late. A lot of times I failed because I didn't execute, and a lot of times I failed because I told bad people my good intentions.
That's a bar.
So what happens is there are people, and even the Bible says this. The Bible says something, and I'm paraphrasing because I can't remember the exact passage, but it says that it is better, to have open rebuke from an enemy. Open rebuke from a friend than a kiss from an enemy.
Wow. Yeah.
But and the thing of it is, you got all these people cheering you on, but really they ain't cheering you on. They're either waiting to hitch themselves to your wagon or they're waiting for your demise. Yeah. So you got to be careful. And so at this point, at 42, going on 43 years of age, with my oldest daughter about to turn 21 in exactly 1 week, I spent over 75% of my life in business. So from the time I was 9, 10 years old, I've been rocking. I have been working. I have been grinding. I didn't get a lot of hugs and playtime. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I'm so big on playing now. Like I'm remodeling my office, and like I was just talking to my wife about it. Like we're gonna put up we're gonna have a Wakanda bathroom in my office. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been collecting, and that's the thing. I don't move on something until I have everything in place. Like I ain't gonna tell you until it's too late for you to do anything about it. You know what I'm saying? So I got that. You know what I'm saying? I got my big screen with all my Marvel movies. Like now I get to have my childhood because I didn't really have the childhood I wanted because I was working.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And so when you're able to be, no diss, light years ahead of your peer group, because you failed a lot more, I wasn't worried about looking cool. High school, I wasn't cool. You know, college, I was cool. Yeah. High school, from high school on down to like Pee-wee, I was not cool. Like I wasn't cool in the sandbox. You know, I wasn't cool with the juice box. I wasn't cool with the Lunchable. I wasn't cool. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I'm cool now. You want to know why? Because all them cool people is like, yeah, man, I always knew you was gonna make it, and they look like Aries Spears in the face. Like no diss, but you know what I'm talking about, like that wear and tear and the you know, I don't know what that brother's into, but you know what I'm saying, like, you know. So I'm able to be right because I've done so much in my life, and I get paid a lot of money to be right. And after a while, there's only so many things. I'll never forget this, and this was like '03, right? B2K was at the height of their situation. Like they were huge, right? There was no YouTube yet. I know. Imagine a world with no YouTube. There's no YouTube.
What, 05? Yeah, that was about 05.
Yeah. So, I was like, I'm in Nashville and I'm interviewing B2K, and we're talking, and I said to Omarion, I said, "You gonna leave?" He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Are you the last one to join the group?" So yeah. I said, "Usually the last one that joins the superstar group leaves." David Ruffin was the last one to join the Temptations.
Yeah, that's the first person who I thought about. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, whenever there's a last person, the last person is usually the first one to go solo. Yeah. It's either the last person or the lead singer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bobby got kicked out and did more by himself. You know what I'm saying? It's either the lead singer or the last person. And everybody's like, "Oh, you crazy." It was the first time like there were message boards in those days. So, you know, I was everything but a child of God. I was wrong, this, that, and the third. And look what happened. You know what I'm saying? Like there's only so many stories that are going to be written. It's the same script, different cast.
Wow. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And so once you understand that, you can see the patterns. You know, if you're going down the street and you've been going down that street for 20 years and you know there's a pothole at the end of the street and somebody else who's never driven down that street don't know there's a pothole, you're like, "Oh, he's going to crash." 3, 2, that's it.
Right. That's right.
You know?
Dave, man, you're a serial entrepreneur, author, been on the Breakfast Club, so many different platforms. When did it click in your brain that, yo, I got something? Because once you start getting into these rooms, you start shaking the hands. When did you realize, yo, I have a great idea, or I made a great business venture?
When they started making millions of dollars and claiming the things that I said were as their own. When I was in rooms and I'd make suggestions that didn't go with the grain, it went against the grain, and they say, "You know what, we don't really want you in that meeting anymore." You know, when they would, because they looked a lot like this and not like this, they would say things like, "Well, you know, you're just you know you're a troublemaker, and you know you talk to people messed up." Yes, I do. I talk to people really greasy. I sure do. You want to know why? Because most people are stupid. Let's keep it a buck. Yeah. Most people are absolutely stupid. If most people weren't stupid, explain why. Wait for this. The New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, Time Magazine, the Philadelphia Inquirer, the New York Post, the Daily News, TMZ, Media Takeout, all are written on a 4th grade level. So if the majority of Americans weren't stupid, why are we speaking to them like they're stupid? Yeah. So my whole thing is, I call a spade, and then I found out things like, because my dad died when I was like 24, 25. So there were certain aspects of my dad I never got to see, because by the time I was 17 and on my way to college, my father had full-blown Alzheimer's and dementia. So there's certain parts of my personality that I didn't get. And my mom was like, "Yeah, like your daddy cursed out the president." I said, "Which one?" She said, "Carter and Reagan." Wow. I was like, she was like, "Yeah, no, your daddy did not suffer fools. He said it like it was, and that's just what it is." And I'm like, My daddy cursed out 2 presidents? Wow. I guess I'm more like him than I thought.
Yeah.
You know? And that's the thing, like they start taking your kindness for weakness. They start taking your ideas as if they're theirs. Just if you go back in history and you look at the cotton gin, do you really think a white man named Eli Whitney would invent something called the cotton gin when he was an educated man? Cotton gin sounds like what a slave would say to describe a cotton engine. You dig? So
Yeah.
what they used to do is what they do now. They take black bodies and black talent and black voices, and they take all of those things and they label it a work for hire. They pay you a piddling salary and then tell you that there's something wrong with you. There's a term for this. It's called gaslighting. And when I got sick of being gaslit, I said, well, I'm gonna let them fire me. I told my wife what it was. I said, look, they're gonna fire me. I don't know when, but I'm phoning it in from this point on because like I can be here at 4 a.m. and they ain't got no problems. But if I leave out 4:30 to come pick you up, which is what a man's supposed to do for his woman, they got something to say. They clocking me, but they don't clock the white people. So I was like, psh. And I let them fire me. I collected unemployment, and I was like, I'm going off on my own. And you know, if I could change the name of an entire company and that company makes millions, if I could create a reality show and that reality show is the #1 reality show on a certain network that I ain't gonna say, you know, if I can do all these things for other people, imagine what I could do for myself, and I've never looked back.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. Hey, that's a good story. And Dave, like one of the combos that that we usually have is about protecting your intellectual property, monetizing your skill sets, knowing your worth, all of that.
Right.
When it comes to young creatives, or even just creatives in general, for people who have podcasts, people who have business ideas, or people who work with you, how do they protect their worth, their intellectual property, all that? Because we talked about with certain podcasts or with certain people, they'll sign to these deals and they're really taking most of the money, but you're just signed to a name. So how do we protect our worth?
Here's a funny little idea. Y'all understand technology a lot better than my generation ever did. Right? I mean, I'm a tech guy, so I'm a little different, but the average bear in my generation, completely lost.
Yeah.
Maybe instead of looking for them to sign you, maybe instead of looking for them to put you on, maybe instead of asking for permission, y'all got off your own asses, buried the egos, and come together to create something that is completely yours, right? And even if, because I always hear this, we're young and we don't have any money and we can't make it. And then I look in your closet and you got every Air Force One, you got every pair of Jordans, you got a PlayStation 4 with the online pack, you got an Xbox One with the 2 terabyte drive, you got a bigger TV than mine, and I work every day and got an 8-figure agency. I'm trying to understand how you ain't got the money when it comes to investing in you. It's because it's not a quick return. But let's just say everybody put in $300. Y'all can piss and find $300. True. Right? If 10 people put in $300, that's $3,000. So with that, you can handle all your trademarks, you can handle your copyrights, and then if each of you has your own list, if each of you has your own fan base, if each of you has your own website, if each of you has your own podcast, and you're all under one network that is owned and operated by the people in the network, and then the people in the network appoint a CEO and make sure that there are checks and balances, because the remaining 9 will be the board. See how that works?
Yeah.
So even though there's one person who is the executive, the person that handles all the things and directs where everything needs to be, everybody else has a seat at your own table, and then you can start demanding stuff. Y'all will spend time resharing a bunch of videos on the Shade Room or, Media Takeout or Hollywood Unlocked or wherever the hell, and won't spend time figuring out how you can cut everybody else out of the situation and cut yourself into your own situation. Because most of you do not believe in yourselves enough, go back to self-esteem, to bet on yourselves. You know you're talented, but you don't want to take all the risks because you've been spoiled your whole life. First, mommy and daddy took all the risks, or grandma or auntie or Uncle Skippy or whoever the hell raised you, wasn't you. Right? So then they did it. Even if it was the government, you were a foster kid, somebody else assumed all the financial risk. Right? Then you go to school, if you go to school, and then there's student loans and Pell Grants and Sally Mae and Freddie Mac, so they assume all the risk, right? Then you get out and you go to a job, and the company you work for assumes all the risk. Where did you start assuming any risks?
Never. Yeah.
Most people who were born between 1998 and 2004 do not learn how to write a checkbook until such time as they get into their senior year of high school or they get into college. Also, because Uncle Dave is going to give you this work, so I mean, y'all, you asked for it.
Hey,
also, y'all don't even file your taxes. So the government is just giving y'all a 10-inch, you know what I mean, with no jelly, and you just like, ugh, thank you so much, government. Like, you know what you could do with a tax return? You see what I'm saying? But, oh, if you get a tax return, y'all want to go fuck it off in the club for a bottle that you could have got from the liquor store for $20 that you spent $200 on. Like, the mindset of it. And then, because a lot of you operate with a net. And don't get me wrong, there have been times in my life, even as a grown-ass man, where I've had to depend on my mom for a minute. Because I was down, wasn't in my right mind, couldn't get things together, was in the process of figuring stuff out. That happens, and that's going to happen to you about 26, right? But there comes a point where it should be diminishing, and you should be able to stand on your own too. But the only way to really make it is together, right? You want to go fast, go alone. You want to go far, you go together. And most of you lack the patience to go far, because if it's not right now, if I just put this up, I don't know if all of y'all got together at the Millennial Conference and watched Kevin Costner's Field of Dreams, but y'all think y'all can shave down a cornfield and be like, if you build it, we will come. And it's like, nobody's coming until you start pounding it. You feel what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Like, you've got to get it in. And nobody wants to do that. Y'all are so busy looking for Puffy, standing outside the Revolt Conference thinking that that's going to be here. So let me give you some numbers. 37. The number of groups that Puffy has signed that did not go platinum is 37.
I never knew that. Wow.
90 million, the amount of records he sold. 5, the number of record companies that have traveled, that Bad Boy has traveled on, because Puffy has never owned the means of production. So what you're doing is you're chasing an enigma wrapped in a mystery, caught in an illusion of grandeur. Because you don't want to build it yourself. Business Bully TV is not on Revolt.
Yeah. It's owned. Yeah.
It's my own. I own it. Can't nobody tell me nothing. You see all these, listen, y'all don't even have sense enough to find that 1 or 2 people in your life who will support every single thing that you do, good or bad, better or worse. Now, I done had some knockdown dragouts with my wife, but I know for a fact that she will always be there for me. If, God forbid, my wife and I ever got divorced, she'd probably be like Danny Garcia and wind up managing my career. That's The Rock's ex-wife, in case you're not paying attention. Because The Rock remarried, got a whole baby and a liquor line. And Danny Garcia getting a piece of all that. And everybody's
deal
happy.
too. Under Armour signed to them. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, Danny did that. No. Anytime you see The Rock, yeah, The Rock is the highest paid actor.
I never knew that.
But,
I never knew that day.
Yeah, his ex-wife got all those deals for him.
Wow.
You don't have anybody around you. Even Jesus Christ, if you believe Jesus Christ was perfect, walked on water, died on the cross for your sins, first thing Jesus did was get a team.
Facts. That's
First
facts.
people he went after were Peter and Andrew. They were fishermen. You know why he went after them?
They knew how to fish.
They knew how to fish. 1. Number 2, if you're a fisherman at that particular point in history, that means that you were going to different ports of call, which meant that you understood not only the languages, but the customs. Then, on top of that, he said, come with me and I'll make you fishers of men. He didn't say, please, sir, will you follow me as I walk on water?
He didn't beg, yeah.
He ain't beg nobody. And then if somebody messes up, y'all have no forgiveness in your heart. None. Peter, the first pope, the one who led Pentecost, Peter denied him, and Jesus called it. He said, you're going to deny me 3 times before the rooster crows.
And he did.
He was like, ain't you with him? No. Ain't you with him? No. Ain't you with him? No.
And then when it gets real.
Still became the pope, was still his right-hand man.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And then y'all want perfection right now. You can't have perfection right now. There was a dude who was standing on the cross next to Jesus, and he was like, look, what can you do for me? And Jesus was like, I'm going to go ahead and prepare a table for you. It wasn't no way that dude could step off the cross and make right his wrongs, because whatever he did, he deserved to be on that cross. He wasn't like Jesus. Jesus was innocent. But But yet and still, Jesus forgave that man and gave that man a shot. Y'all will pass by charcoal because charcoal don't look like a diamond. Y'all will step on an acorn and don't realize that it's an oak inside that acorn. All you got to do is plant it in fertile soil. And then you wonder why you ain't popping. You wonder why it ain't hit yet. It hasn't hit yet because you ain't hit yet. But I digress. Next question.
Hey, let's keep it going, Dave. I love it. Somebody who just joined, I think he's still here, my man, Dr. Dapper. We had a great bill. It was like, I think 3 weeks ago, but I just purchased his digital guidebook that he made like 2 weeks ago. He's like 26, Dave, young entrepreneur, genius. And, you know, we've talked about growing brands, how to grow right through social media. And also, he's done this during the coronavirus. So how do we adapt during this time? Because some people look at it as, oh, man, like it's all this going on, so I'm going to just fall back. I'm going to just rest. And others are actually making things pop. So how do we pivot during this time? Go in.
Bro, so once they told me I couldn't go nowhere, once they told me I couldn't tour, once they told me I couldn't do all the fly stuff I had planned before Rona hit, I looked at my team and I said, listen, I woke up this morning with this on my mind. And they was like, what? And I just said, CoronaCon. And they was like, yo, what is that? I said, I don't know, but we about to do it. I said, well, what do you mean? I said, yo, can't nobody go nowhere. Burn, bang, 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 bang. They can't go nowhere. They stop. Burn, burn. So I was like, yo.
Yeah.
Everybody's at home. I was like, yo, I hit my man George Fraser, and he was like, Dave. He was like this. He said, I'm 74 years old. This hasn't happened in my lifetime. Last time this happened was the Spanish flu.
Wow.
And I knew about the Spanish flu because my father's mother was born in 1904. Spanish flu took place 1918 to 1920.
Yep.
You dig? So she used to tell me these stories, and I was like, yo. And they was in for a long time. And I'm like, if nobody's going anywhere, and I got all this technology, and I got a bunch of really rich, really powerful, really focused in, really motivated friends, I'm going to put on a digital conference, and everybody's going to come. And in 6 days, I went from CoronaCon to putting it on. And it was only supposed to go from April 1st to the 6th. It went from April 1st to the 10th. Because that's how many people we had. And we had everybody from David Banner, Reza Islam, Derek Grace. You know what I'm saying? Like we just had so many, George Fraser. Yeah. We had so many people. And I was like, yo, this is what it takes. You see an opportunity and you capitalize on that bad boy and you keep pressing. But if the first thing don't work out, y'all start playing the Brian McKnight music, or what y'all listen to, Jacquees. Y'all start playing them Jacquees songs. You know what I'm saying? Y'all like I don't know what to tell y'all. Like y'all throwing the towel too easy. It's like y'all can't take a punch in the mouth. Bro, like what you're telling me is, in an era where y'all had a phone that could do everything, and I was happy to have encyclopedias, my poor ghetto son of a single mom ass is running laps around y'all.
Yeah.
Hutch says, was that stream is CoronaCon on your channel? Yes, you can go to Business Bully TV right now on Roku or Amazon Fire TV, or streaming live or on demand 24/7 at businessbully.tv. It's free. Go cop that channel. The entire CoronaCon live stream is there. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you this so that you can understand how my brain sees things. It might not be for everybody, and some people can call me I'm wrong. And like John Lennon said, you can say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. Here's what I know: a bumblebee is big, in fact, and got teeny tiny little wings.
Yeah, I remember.
And aerodynamically, scientists have studied that there's an impossible, mathematically,
couldn't be flying.
It can't fly.
Yeah.
The problem is the bumblebee don't give a fuck about your mathematical equations or your science. It's got flowers to pollinate, and without the bumblebee, humanity would cease to exist. Who are you robbing from their opportunity to glean from your example because you scared shitless, or you're waiting for the stars to align, or you're waiting to put it all together, or it don't happen right now, or my audience ain't here right now, and all these other people are doing all of this? Who are you robbing of greatness because you won't be great today?
Wow.
Jesus. It bugs me, bro. It really does bug me a little bit.
And Dave, how do people grow their audience? Because you just hit a great point. Because some people get caught up in that. Some people just hesitate with launching that clothing line, that podcast, that media platform, heck, another business, Bully TV, because they're thinking, yo, who's going to tune in? So how do they grow that following and be patient with that process?
Y'all want to be Beyonce. Everybody want to be Beyonce until it's time to show up and be Beyonce.
Yeah.
Are you going to be the one that caused a rift between your parents because your daddy is working a job making $250,000 a year and he wants to give that up to manage you and your piddling ass group? Are you going to be the one that has to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 group changes? If you go from Girls Time to the last version of Destiny's Child, that's 5 group changes. Are you going to be the one to go through that? Are you going to be the one that is going to constantly deal with people scrutinizing them over time? Are you going to lose publicly on a national platform and still come out on top? Are you going to put in the hours, put in the work, do everything that it takes? And the majority of you will not. But everybody want to just drop an album and then everybody go buy it. But there was 2 decades between the time that y'all started to know who a Beyonce Knowles was and when she dropped that album.
That's right.
I saw Beyonce in 1997, 98, and it was her, Jagged Edge, and some other girl who never became anything.
On tour, right?
John Forte. It was called the Young Soul Power Review.
Yeah.
And John Forte was up there, and they didn't have We're Trying to Stay Alive yet, but he still had I'm more than just a rhymer. You're still a small timer. And then the next thing you know, he got arrested for coke. Out of here. Jagged Edge, lots of problems, but had some hits.
Yeah.
That other girl whose name is Kimberly something, I can't remember what it was. She had a song called Walk Me Home, but she was 11 years old, talking about people tuck me in and walk me home. It was weird, so that didn't pop.
Yeah.
But Destiny's Child had something. They had something. And Beyonce had something. I knew it. I met Beyonce and I met Kelly, and I was like, yo, there's something to be said for something that has been worked over and refined and it's in there, but a lot of us don't want to do the work because we want it right now. We want it right now. And then we clock watch.
Yeah.
Oh, look, it's right now we gotta, that clock's not moving. It's 5:34, still 5:34. Looking at it, still 5:34. Can't wait for it, Caleb.
Yeah.
Still 5:30. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, we don't want, like, there's no journey. And I'm gonna be, full disclosure, if my wife was to come down here right now, she will tell you that she had a conversation one time and she cussed me clean the fuck out. And here's why. I was upset. Like, I had literal tears in my eyes because I'm like, yo, I felt like Tyrese. You know how Tyrese had that breakdown? He's like, what more do they want from me? And she was like, yo, I swear to God, like, can you get off your own ass for a minute? Like, you always bugging out. She was like, you could climb Mount Everest and you wouldn't even enjoy the view because you'd be like, is that Kilimanjaro over there?
You're trying to get to the next one.
Trying to get to the next one.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing, but it's a bad thing because sometimes you got to stay with something long enough. Even Einstein said, it's not that I'm that smart, it's just that I stay with problems longer. You know what I'm saying? But no, I'm not satisfied. And the problem with too many of us, though, like, people criticize me because I'm a little hard on myself. I even tell my own kids, I don't want you to live up to my expectations because you can't. I'm trying to live up to my expectations, and I can't.
Yeah.
So your ass, who didn't have what I have, you never shared bath water with your siblings. You never had to run an electric cord. You never had to worry about borrowing an egg to eat. None of that ever happened, and you don't know nothing about what I'm talking about. You never had to deal with stick-up kids, crack vials in your sneakers. You didn't live through none of that. You look on the TV, you see something you wanted, daddy, go get it.
Yeah.
You understand? And that's how it should be.
Yeah.
But the thing of it is, right? There's a part of you that is going to be forever weakened because you didn't get what I got. But I can't hold you to them. But I will hold you to the standards that you set for yourself. And as a coach, that's why I'm successful. I don't want you can't be me. I don't know how to be me. I'm figuring out that every day. But I want you to be the best version of you because the best version of you is what it's going to take in order for you to get to where you say you need to be.
Beautiful.
I'm trying, bro. I don't want to waste time with
coming
people.
through. I love the knowledge, man. Dave, on your page too, something that I saw which was so relevant, where you were breaking down about business coaches who are frauds that's just trying to take people's money. How do
Yeah.
young entrepreneurs move and maneuver carefully where they aren't signing to these business coaches who don't have their best interests at heart?
Listen, all business coaches, the good ones, me, the bad ones, all of us want to make money. The difference is when I charge $20,000 as a return on investment.
Mm.
You understand? The
Yeah.
difference between, this is the thing, right? The one question you should ask any business coach is, how much revenue have you generated for your clients this year, last year, and the year before? Most can't answer that question. And so they'll start moonwalking like Michael Jackson in Motown 25, to avoid the question. My whole thing is, let's see, 14 million, 27 million, 54 million in 2019, and hopefully we'll hit 100. Don't know if it's going to happen, but that's the goal. So there's a difference. Also, if I go on Google and I can't find you, it's a problem. Now, in all fairness to me, there are 17 other entrepreneurs named Dave Anderson. That's why there's a business bully, so that you can separate. But if you go, you'll see Forbes and Huffington Post and Black Enterprise and Breakfast Club and USA Today and all that other stuff. And you can fool all the people some of the time. You can fool some of the people all the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time, especially when their jobs depend on reporting facts. Yeah. That's it. You can argue about who you like better. Charles Barkley is my favorite basketball player, but Charles Barkley did not win one. Jordan won 6. Only argument I need to make.
Yeah.
I don't see too many other people getting 10-part docuseries on ESPN.
That's real. You got billions of people watching it.
Yeah. And you ain't got to like Jordan. This other thing is, y'all obsessed with being liked.
Yeah.
My wife likes me 99% of the time. My kids like me 85% of the time. But I'm okay with you not liking me. Fuck you, Dave. Yeah, it's cool. My wife's still here. She's fine.
Mm. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to worry because I'm not dictated by that. Also, you're so worried about being canceled. Oh, I can't say this, can't do that, and I can't do this, and I can't say that. Instead of just being who you are and letting the chips fall where they may, you have to be willing to attract people who are right for you and repel people who aren't. And most of us don't want to do that because we want everybody to like us. That works out for Care Bears and Little Orphan Annie, but around here, where these bills need to get paid, hey, people ain't gonna like you. Everybody, including you, Caleb, are the bad guy in somebody's story. I am Lex Luthor in some people's stories, and that's cool.
Yep. You got to be at peace with it.
Ain't bothering me none.
I feel that.
Because I ain't never been sued.
Mm. So you didn't do anything that was too bad.
Yeah, that's my whole thing. How come I ain't never been sued then? If I'm that bad, tell me what I did.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't like something I said? Get over it.
Yeah.
You don't like something I did? Turn the channel.
Mm.
That's it. You don't like something I did to you? What did you do?
Yeah.
Because I'm a mirror. I'm just a reflection of what you give me. All I can do is show you what you are. Mm. Some people don't like that.
Yeah.
And if you depend, listen, I'm gonna ask you something. Close your eyes for a second. I want you to think about this. Imagine that all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there was a creature with godlike powers. You don't know nothing about him, right? But you know that he ain't human. And imagine that everybody's just falling for the okie doke and they love him. But you know that humanity can be taken advantage of because humanity ain't got that person's strength or ability or skills or charm, and can't nobody be that good. Are you wrong for wanting to protect humanity even from itself?
No.
Congratulations, you're Lex Luthor too.
Yeah.
Because say what you want, but Lex Luthor turned into President Luthor.
Wow.
And he's the only one rooting for humanity while they're out here cheering for metahumans.
Wow.
Perspective is everything, bro.
Yeah.
In Nazi Germany, Hitler was a hero.
Yeah.
To the Germans, not to the Jews.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It could, in America, they said Gaddafi was a bad guy, but Gaddafi is trying to get his own currency and just completely get rid of the world.
Africa. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, Killmonger, you were talking about Black Panther earlier.
Right, but I mean,
they could say that he was the hero. So it depends.
In my version of the story, he was, because if you're sitting back and you watching people get slaughtered, you just as bad. To me, that's as weak as when Negroes sit around, like when brothers sit around and watch women get their asses beat by some other man and holler, "World star," but they ain't doing nothing to step up.
Yep.
Yeah, everybody's the bad guy in somebody's story. Tell your story walking.
I love it.
You know?
I love it. Dave, you got the Business Bullet TV going on. We'll
Mm-hmm.
most definitely talk about that after this, of course. But what you're doing right now is super dope. And we have other black media outlets like the Revolts and others, many others out there. Your honest opinion, are our black media outlets and our black leadership, are they doing enough?
I'm sorry, what's black leadership?
Hey, let's break that down. Some people may feel like that we have it. I don't, but if you can.
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm sorry, maybe I was busy like writing a book or giving a speech or something,
Yeah.
but I didn't get the ballot to vote for black leaders.
Yeah.
Who are black leaders?
Yeah.
Right? That's one. Two, there's a bunch of networks out here that claim that they're black owned, but they're not. And I'm not bashing anybody, but I'm a person that, because I was a researcher for so long, listen, all I do, there's this thing I call Dave Anderson's magical bag of facts. Allow me to reach in.
Yeah.
You know, let's run them down. Byron Allen got the Weather Channel. That is black owned. No beef there, right? But when's the last time you saw a black show on Cars.tv, Pets.tv, whatever the hell it is .tv? But this is the same man who said he don't want to deal in the Chitlin circuit, but he sure brought his black ass on a Breakfast Club when he had to go to the Supreme Court to get his agenda dealt with.
I haven't seen him since, too, just to be honest.
No, he did come back on. And he made sure he had a big old picture of the Weather Channel behind. And he went back and started explaining as to when he got his ass handed to him in the Supreme Court, how all they did was, well, you know, that was a good thing because they knocked it back down to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, which is all we wanted because of the definition of the... Bro, I've been dealing with fast talkers all my life. No diss, because I love Byron Allen. He's a hero of mine. But I feel like that man does not do enough for black people. In my professional opinion, as a professional broadcaster of 30 plus years, I don't think that Byron Allen has done enough for black people, especially to reach back and get the other generation. Like, you can't holler Sankofa if your agenda is not black. Right? So then there's the black business. What is the Black News Channel? Right? Black News Channel had its CEO who was Jewish, had its chief of operations that was Jewish, had its board of directors, which was all Jewish, and then they had J.C. Watts, who is a known conservative shill and was a known conservative shill. And the only black thing he ever did was play for the Jets. And by the way, the Jets have never been owned by black people. So who's funding these people? Right? I love Puff. I don't know the financials of Revolt. I can't really speak to it. I like a lot of what Revolt does. But in my opinion, I feel, because you asked, I feel like Revolt doesn't do enough for black people in way of solutions. In way of this, okay, we all know we're in the shitter. We all know how serious coronavirus is. We all know that it's important to talk to people in terms that they can understand because the majority of Americans are stupid. But what are we doing to help our people get out? How do we help our people help themselves? And that's a question that has not been answered with 90 million records, a TV label, you know, a record label, fashion brands, Nietzsche, all that, you know, that hasn't happened yet. You know, so I can't really go there on leadership or ownership when I know that every dime that went into Business Bully TV came out of my pocket. You didn't see no GoFundMe. You didn't see any, you know what I'm saying? Indiegogo, none of that. It was, I'm going to do this. I'm going to stack this bread and I'm going to go pay these racks. Now, I can speak for me. I can speak for Derek Grace. I can't speak for too many other people when it comes to being self-funded. I can't. I can speak for me and Derek Grace for sure. I know are self-funded. I can't speak to anybody else. And then when you look at my results and Derek Grace's results, and then you look at everybody else's, it's a different conversation.
Yeah. Dope.
That's it.
Dave, one of my last few questions, man.
Sure.
As a consultant, as a coach, entrepreneur, when do you know that you should work with someone? Because I think sometimes that people that's my age or just, you know, entrepreneurs in general struggle with knowing who to collab with, and you may collab with somebody, it may not work out. So when do you know that you should work or network with that one person? Or
so here's the thing. I don't, contrary to public opinion and prior belief, I don't have an issue with being wrong. Mm-hmm. I've been wrong a few times. I wasn't wrong about the talent. I wasn't wrong about the drive. I was wrong about the intention of the individual. And that's going to happen. When that happens, you pull out. That's it. I have hired fast and fired faster. I'm not married to anybody but Janae Anderson. You understand?
Yeah.
That's it. So, New York Minute. Go watch Heat. Robert De Niro and Al Pacino. I'm not going to deal with anything that I can't leave in 15 minutes flat. That's it. I'm not attached to you. You are a means to an end. You want to know why? You know who I learned that from? Corporate America. Because you could go out here on your way to work on your way home from work after working 8 hours, after getting up 4 hours before the job, taking 2 hours to get yourself together, taking 2 hours to get there, taking a half-hour lunch break, taking 14 and a half minutes to get your lunch, pay for your lunch, and then the other 16 minutes to eat your lunch and then get back to your queue before there's a problem. And you can leave that job, get hit by a bus, and they will have your position on Craigslist, on Monster.com, or wherever the hell. I don't know where these people, Indeed, or wherever they're getting jobs from now. They will have it up the next day.
Yeah.
Real rap, the next day.
Yeah.
But you will break your ass, for that. And so for me, I'm looking for people who have the right attitude. The people who don't know it all, but know that they want something bigger than themselves. I'm looking for people who are willing to invest in themselves, because I don't have time for Chris Rocks. Meaning, how much for one red? You want me to $20,000? Good Lord, that's a lot of money. How much money you want to make in your business? $1 million. So how much do you have in your budget? $150. Wait. You want to be a millionaire with $150. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to take all $150 and go down to your local convenience store and get your black ass some scratch offs. Maybe you have a better shot.
Yeah.
Invest. But you're going to pick bad people. It's going to happen. And you know what that's going to teach you? Who not to pick. Y'all are so worried about being perfect. Done is better than perfect. While y'all are sitting up here being perfect, I'm running laps around your ass, and I can't run that fast. I'm fat. Sorry. Like, that's just what it is. You're obsessed with perfection, and you shouldn't be. You should just try to find the best people who can do it. Not your homeboys. Not your cousin who wasn't never shit, was in the basement making beats on a Tandy keyboard talking about, nah.
Yeah. Find
the people who can do the job. And if they can't do the job, find other people. That's it.
Wow.
And the other thing, don't overvalue yourself. I know a young man once that I made an offer to. And that young man thought that because I made an offer to him, that he was going to start making demands. And you know where that young man is? I don't know neither. But Business Bully TV rolling.
Yeah.
That's the thing. People don't get that you can blow an opportunity by doing too much, and you can blow an opportunity by doing too little. And you can overshoot your opportunity. Shoot your shot by all means, but look at where you are and make sure that the value you bring is equal or better to the money you're asking for. Because I can get a dancing monkey to do a lot of stuff. Trust me.
Yeah.
What else you got, bro? I know we only got a few minutes. So.
I know. Dave, man, you killed it. You killed it. Like, we got so much game. Everybody in the comments loved it, man. Dave, before we leave, just want to say thank you again for your time, for all the free game that you're giving people. Everybody in the comments, y'all, this is like free consultations that's going on right now that Dave just did. And Dave, before we leave, man, where can everybody follow you, support what you're doing, all that good stuff?
For Queen Tar says, keep going.
I know.
All right. So a couple things. First, I want everybody, if you've got an Amazon Fire TV, you got a Fire Stick, if you have a Roku TV or a Roku stick or Roku box, I need you to go and look up Business Bully TV. 100% black owned, right? 95% of the content is black owned and operated, but all of it is designed to teach you different things, and it's not hokey. Like I've got people who handle health. I've got people who handle trademarks and copyrights, because we get a lot of questions about that stuff. So we got a show for that. As soon as Rona's over with, I'm going to be shooting a lot of reality shows. I'm going to make an announcement. This is an exclusive for 3 Milli Pod. Here we go. Y'all ready?
Shout out to my man Dave.
Exclusive. So I'm going to be doing a show with All Hip Hop. right? It's going to be called the Bully Beatdown, and on that we're going to have a track list, and I'm going to be breaking down mistakes that happen in the business of hip hop, things that need to happen, things that we're seeing in the culture. That's going to be really, really amazing. So that's happening, extremely awesome. So that'll be simulcast on both allhiphop.com and Business Bully TV. So make sure y'all check that out. Let me see. Hold on. Somebody just said something. I remember back when Dave used to log on to IG and just bully folks, bullying out of love. Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to do it. Yeah, I did say Fire Stick also, so you can get it there. So that's the thing, and also businessbully.tv. So any streaming device, any device that your phone, your iPad, your iPod, your tablets, whatever, your computers, whatever, just check it out. Also, if you have content that you feel is cool, you send me an email direct, dave@businessbullyshow.com. dave@businessbullyshow.com. You can subscribe to the Business Bully podcast. And all this stuff is at businessbullyshow.com, so you can get all this there. On Instagram, obviously, The Business Bully. On Facebook, The Business Bully. I'm not really hard to find. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm out here, and out of my peer group, I think, like maybe DG, but not even. I try to be as accessible as humanly possible.
Yeah.
And I want people, especially like, the folks I call my nieces and nephews, because Uncle Dave loves y'all. Like, I want you to win. Caleb, I've had 3-hour conversations with you and didn't say, yo, make sure you handle that invoice by business. Because I want you to win. Like, I believe in you. I believe in you and your girl. Like, I think that you have something. I told you from day one when I saw you, I was like, I want to work with that kid because that kid has something. Even my wife asked about you because I was like, yo. And I did 7 interviews in Atlanta, and all I could talk about was how good Caleb was. And you had a boot on and you was limping and everything.
Yeah.
How's the foot?
That's love. Hey, I'm walking, running, doing all that.
All right, cool. Don't be doing no backflips, no handstands, bro.
Nah, hey, I'm chilling. Hey, we trying to stay healthy. Hey, y'all, real quick, in the comments, let us know if y'all want to see a part 2 of this next week. And also, Dave, if y'all want to see 3 Milli Pod on Business Bully TV, because we will make that happen, Dave.
Hey, dog, we can make that happen.
Hey, let's make it happen before this week is over with. But yeah, y'all, let us know in the comments, Dave. All right, somebody said yes. So next week, Dave, would you be down for part 2?
I got to check with upper management. Can I do a part 2 for Caleb? Upper management says yes.
All right, part 2 next week, y'all. It's coming. Yes and yes to both. All right.
Now, so Jimmy, can I ask? Can I ask something?
Yeah. What's up?
What I want y'all to do, like, this is when I need y'all to come through with your business questions ahead of time. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Also, one show that we will be doing coming up, aside from, I was telling you about the Bully Beatdown with All Hip Hop on Business Bully TV, we're going to bring back the Bully Hot Seat, and that's also going to be simulcast on Business Bully TV and on YouTube. And I'm bringing that back because my wife was like, yo, when you was doing that hot seat, like, it is what it is. Like, you got to give it to them. Because what happens is, and this is another thing, right? There are coaches that are only good with selling flat tummy tees. There are coaches who are only good with selling live events. I saw Ice to an Eskimo, so fire in hell. I am a hustler, baby. I saw water to a well. What I'm saying to you is I have done so much in business that I'm what's called a polymath, meaning I'm really good at a lot of shit. So I want you to bring your questions. Make sure that you DM Caleb the questions, DM 3 Milli Pod the questions that you have. Because that hot seat is coming back. And so I just want to do Q&A. I want to answer all your questions. Let me know where you're from. And let's really do this, man, because I'm excited. And I think that that's something that'll help y'all because nobody's coming to help y'all. They just tell y'all, grind hard, work hard, and it'll randomly work out.
And that's
not enough for my people.
That's a lie. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Who just, like, they're not giving you any substance. They're not giving you anything to take away. Ain't nobody paying me to be here.
Yeah.
But you pay me with your time and your attention, and I appreciate it because sometimes I'll be rambling. But the rambles be dropped. Like, there's gems in the rambles. So just, like, edit out the rambles. Because, like, there's hamsters and dragons in this brain. But, bro, I'm excited, man. And I got to tell you, man, I'm so proud of you. I love you, young brother.
Hey,
I'm excited for you.
Marry that girl. This exist without Dave, actually. So this started a long time ago. Dave actually planted that seed. So shout out to Dave. So it exists. Somebody in the comments said, y'all, we need a series of this. Y'all, we got y'all next week. DM me all the questions. And Dave, before the week is over, we're going to get 3 Milli Pod on the Business Bully TV network.
Yo, let's do it, man. I'll send you a contract. It's not a problem.
All right. I'll make sure to text you once you send it over. I got you. All right, Dave?
Yes, sir.
All right. Next week, just text me a time that works. Day
Yeah,
and time
no,
that works?
I think next week at this time we're good.
Tuesday at 5 next week, y'all. Tuesday at 5 next week, part 2. DM me all your questions, and I will ask each and every question next week. I got
Wait,
y'all.
one more thing, because I know we got to
Yeah,
move.
what's up, man?
Listen, if y'all enjoyed this, I'm going to need y'all to screenshot this. I'm going to need y'all to share this. I'm going to need y'all to
Oh,
tag
it's
me.
going on YouTube, Dave.
Oh, I already know that too. I need y'all
Yeah,
to, hey, subscribe on YouTube. I'm on
yeah,
YouTube too.
yeah,
I'm going to need y'all to share and spread. Y'all will
yeah,
spread some bullshit about somebody getting knocked the hell out.
yeah,
Y'all will spread some bullshit about weaves and bundles going on sale. Spread some business knowledge.
yeah,
Spread people who care. Because I want us to win. That's how much I
yeah,
love y'all.
yeah. Hey, we love you, Dave. Next week, Tuesday at 5. I got you.
Tuesday at 5. All right,
All
y'all. Thank
right.
you so much. Eastern time.
Peace. Eastern time, yes. All right, Dave. Hey, you be safe, all right?
Thank you, brother.
Yes, sir. Y'all, this is about to time out real quick, but we love y'all. Shout out to Jacob. I see you, Jacob. Shout out to everybody in the comments. Part 2 is coming next week. If you guys haven't already, make sure to follow us, subscribe to our YouTube channel as well so you can stay up to date with all of our content. This podcast is made for entrepreneurs and for millennials and just for any and everybody who's trying to learn about business. Thank y'all. We love y'all. Again, my name is Caleb Smith. Blessed to be the host of this podcast. Part 2 coming next week, and we have another interview coming on Thursday about real estate, about millennials learning how to get into the real estate industry. So tune in to that. It'll be Tuesday at 4. We love y'all. Stay blessed. Peace.